When you think of teams that can challenge for the title in 2023, you think of Red Bull, Ferrari or Mercedes. Maybe Alpine or McLaren if something really wild happens. Never would never you think of Aston Martin to be a title contender. But maybe we should. They have made some big changes for the upcoming season and the team has teased some details of the new car which could see them leap up the grid. With a World Championship winning driver on the roster. Sorry, we are talking about a different World Championship winning driver, they really could be contenders. The changes to the Aston Martin car sound incredible to say. The team has been busy during the off-season, that also would be a gross understatement. But first, let's talk about the new driver, Fernando Alonso, and how he may have been the driving force behind everything that's been happening at the Silverstone factory. Sebastian Vettel is a legend of Formula One, one of the most talented drivers the sport has ever seen. But during his final season in the sport, he clocked out and Aston Martin lacked the push a top-tier driver can supply. Fernando Alonso is changing that, and the factory are apparently responding. He described that he felt a very special atmosphere at Aston Martin as he has settled in at the team over the winter break. Having returned to F1 with Alpine in 2021 and spent 2 seasons with the Anglo-French squad, Alonso swaps the blue colors of the French manufacturer for the green of Aston Martin from 2023. Joining the Silverstone operation on a multi-year deal, he got his first taste of Aston machinery when he drove for the team at the 2022 post-season test session in Abu Dhabi. Reflecting on his 97-lap outing at the Yas Marina circuit, Alonso said, "We need to work hard this winter, including a lot of hours in the simulator, learning all the steering wheel controls and procedures. They are very different compared to what I'm used to. I have to practice them until they become automatic in my head, in my fingers." So, I arrived for the opening round of the season in Bahrain at 100%. Next year's car will be very different compared to this one, so any feedback that you get from this one it's not really relevant for when we drive the MR23. Even in late November, Alonso was telling us that the 2023 car was going to be a different beast. But none of us could have expected it to be as different as it will turn out to be. Aston Martin's Deputy Technical Director Eric Blandon recently gave an interview in the lead-up to the 2023 car reveal and told us the full extent of the coming changes. When asked on how much of the 2023 design was different, Blandon said, "We took all our learnings from last year's car and applied them to this year's car. So, much of the MR23 is new. It's completely different from the MR22. We've changed more than 90% of the parts, and more than 95% of the aerodynamic surfaces are different." If that's true, Aston Martin must have been planning these changes since last year's summer break, and probably were working 24 hours a day since then to make them changes happen. You can picture Fernando Alonso standing in the Silverstone factory, his presence at Silverstone providing motivation to all engineers to work hard on designing the 2023 Challenger. Last season's car reveals were a massive letdown in the end. Each team tried to one-up each other with hype to only reveal a reskin show cuff. Then they took to the media to take the piss out of each other for doing it. The whole thing was pretty disappointing, and we're expecting the exact same thing to happen this year. Nonetheless, Aston Martin is getting our hopes up. Blandon was clear that the team would not try to pull the wool over the eyes of fans by revealing a rebranded old car at its launch. "We will unveil the actual car just as we did last year," he said. "The car we reveal at our new factory in Silverstone on the 13th of February will be the real MR23. We're not going to disappoint the fans." So, what do we actually know about the MR23 in preparation for the big reveal? Well, more than you might think actually. Aston Martin's game-changing rear wing will be banned as of next season, said F1 Chief Technical Officer Pat Symonds, citing the potential for it to push the cars in the wrong direction. Although rival teams raised their eyebrows, Aston Martin confirmed that the FIA has confirmed in writing that our update was generated as a result of legitimate, independent work in accordance with the technical regulations. Symonds revealed the FIA had changed the regulations in order to ban it for 2023, declaring that in general, he's happy with this year's regulations and how they panned out. He added, "There are a few little tweaks. We saw that unusual rear wing on the Aston Martin earlier in the year and the regulations have been tweaked to not allow that next year, because it had the potential to go in the wrong direction. But overall, I'm pretty pleased. That shouldn't be a big surprise for anyone. While the wing was incredibly inventive, it would have been copied by everyone on the grid in 2023 because of how it caught air on the wing, similar to the last generation's rear wings. It was an amazing loophole that they found, and we can expect similar surprises from them in 2023 as well." Apparently, although he remained coy about the details of the design of its new Challenger, Aston Martin's Deputy Technical Director Eric Blandon suggested that there should be some interesting ideas on it. "We've implemented a few clever innovations on the new car. They're the icing on the cake," he said in an interview published on the Aston Martin website. They're nice to have, but not a must to have. It's great when you find a small loophole and can use it to your advantage, but it's not often you can base an entire car around it. Instead, it's essential to get the basics right, and then you can add things. His comments hint at something that may be missed at first glance, but could be a difference maker between back of the grid and best of the rest. There is after all only a percentage point of difference between first and last on the grid. So, if Aston Martin's loopholes give any gains in lap time, they could be crucial to the 2023 chances. It's probably fair to say that Aston Martin didn't get the basics right at the start of 2022, and they pretty quickly changed their side pods to a design very similar to Red Bull's. Despite that, they still finished 7th, over 100 points behind 5th place McLaren and 118 points behind best of the rest, Alpine. Perhaps that is why they're changing more than 90% of their car for next year. Eric Blandon continued talking about the new car. When you start a new project, you identify what your limitations were the previous year and how you can overcome them with the new design, and you define the architecture that will give you the most potential for the future. If you pursue the wrong concept, you can end up boxing yourself and you run out of road for development, and that's a very difficult situation to get out of. Blandon is doubling down on the fact that Aston Martin made mistakes in 2022 and that they won't be making them again in 2023. While that all sounds good, it's hard to know if it will be enough to overcome the lap time deficit they found themselves with in 2022. Fernando Alonso will be pushing the team to ensure he doesn't finish a single race behind an Alpine this season. Luckily for the Spaniard, his new team's engine is due a boost in 2023 as well. Aston Martin's technical director, Dan Fallows, insists that the Formula One team is not losing out by using a Mercedes engine, despite the Mercedes-powered teams being the obvious underperformers last year. Fallows says that using the Mercedes engine won't blunt the team's ambitions in any way. "I don't feel that it is," he said when asked if a Mercedes engine was a barrier to progress. "And I certainly don't feel that having the Mercedes HPP engine in our car has been in any way a negative for us. I think it has proved its reliability. Its performance is where it needs to be." Alonso will definitely be happy having the most reliable engine on the grid in his car after the mess that Alpine made last year. On top of that, Mercedes have found an additional 16 horsepower for their engine in 2023, utilizing a new fuel from Petronas. This shows that despite engine homologation, there are still areas where engine developers are able to gain performance. The German manufacturer struggled for straight-line speed in 2022, but that was mainly due to their aerodynamic concept rather than an underperforming engine. Renault, on the other hand, who make the engine for Alpine, have gained nothing in terms of performance apparently, though they should be breaking down less. French fans will definitely be hoping so, as the all-French outfit look to make another step towards the front of the grid this year. Do you think Aston Martin's 90% new car will see them jump up the grid, or will they get the fundamentals wrong again? Let us know your opinion in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching our video today, and if you enjoy our content, subscribe to the channel and have that notifications bell turned on to be made aware of our future uploads.